What you guys, got another video here for you on turn off these Windows 11 settings now. Most people don't know about these, but we're going to go through them and I'm going to explain as best I can whether you should disable these or whether you should leave them alone. I'm going to show you some alternative methods as well to be able to reduce system resources, which a lot of people complain about. People always talk about this process count and utilization and also the memory that the system is using. And this is why a lot of people debloat Windows to try and reduce this. Now, the most people that are complaining about all of this are people with older computers. I'm pretty sure if you've got a modern day computer, you're not going to see as many issues as what people see with older computers. And we're going to discuss all of that in today's video after a quick word from today's video sponsor, CD Key Sales. If you're looking for cheap Windows 11 Pro or cheap Windows 10 Pro or home keys, then check out the links in the video description. They also do office keys on there as well. All you need to do is create yourself an account and choose your product that you want to purchase. Then you can click on the buy now and it will give you a box here that says promo code. Use my promo code capital B, capital R 09 and apply that to your order and get a 30% discount on all of your purchases on CD Key Sales. Once you've got your key, head over to the activation center, paste in your key, and you can then activate your version of Windows just like you see on the screen right now. All the information will be in the video description. Okay, so let's get back to the video. So what we're going to do here is first off, we're going to go into services. I see a lot of people talking about services. I've had a lot of comments about these particular services what we're going to be talking about. And also I've had a lot of emails from people also talking about these particular services, asking about input lag and also jerkiness on the screen when they're playing games. Is this going to benefit them? Well, the first one we're going to be looking at is Superfetch. Superfetch is a background feature in Microsoft Windows designed to make your computer feel faster by preloading frequently used apps into RAM. So what Superfetch, or sysmain for short, actually does is it learns your user habits when you're using your computer. And this is it right here. So it monitors which apps and files you open most, example, your browser, your games and office apps and things like that. And it will basically preload these into your memory. When your PC is idle, sysmain can load these commonly used programs into RAM so they start faster when you launch them. This optimizes the boot and app launch times. So basically Windows is predicting what you're likely to open and prepare for it ahead of time. So what issues does this cause by leaving it on? Well, if you've got an older computer, sometimes when you leave this on, it can cause issues like high disk usage. And also this happens on slower hard drives, mechanical drives. Older computers with very limited RAM, this can also cause issues by leaving this on as well. And certain games on SSD setups can also see a benefit by turning this off as well. So on modern PCs with SSDs and they've got enough memory, it usually works perfectly fine and improves responsiveness by disabling this feature. Whether you do that or not is entirely up to you. I haven't seen much improvement on a modern day computer, but on older computers, it certainly does make a bit of a change to the system. And if you're wondering whether I disable it, no, I don't. I leave it as it is on my main computer because it's a modern day computer. It's entirely up to you what you do on your PC. Windows search is another area that people were talking about after my latest video. Should you disable it or should you leave it enabled? Let's talk about Windows search. Well, generally Windows search is safe to disable, but it depends on how you use your PC. What Windows search does is it runs an indexing service that scans your files and emails and apps. So you're searching for those files and things on your PC like Windows 10 and Windows 11, and it returns instant results. Instead of searching the whole disk every time, it looks for pre-built indexes that the indexing service creates. So by disabling the Windows search, it has some pros and cons. So disabling it will be lowering your CPU usage, it will lower disk activity, and it can help your PC if it has higher disk usage from indexing all of the files. You can see right here, I can remove this check mark to allow files on this drive to have contents indexed in addition to its file properties. And you can do this for subfiles and folders as well. So there is a benefit to indexing. It makes things a lot more snappier and faster to find things. And if you have a lot of data, it's essential, in my opinion. But some people feel there's a lot of wear and tear on the SSD, and they also claim that by turning this off, you get a bit of space back, and also you don't really need it for SSDs because SSDs are pretty quick. But the cons are the searches become much slower, even with an SSD, because the files are not indexed. And searching for files in File Explorer may take longer, and that's another downfall side of disabling the Windows search. Some apps rely on indexing and it may be slower. So just bear that in mind if you are looking at disabling Windows search. For many users, especially people with older computers, they will disable it because obviously they want as much system resources as they can with their old PC. The problem you've got is if you've got a mechanical drive, it's really going to slow things up when you're searching for things. And if you do use the Windows search quite a bit, then obviously that is going to impact you a bit. You can use a search feature or program called Everything, and that can replace the Windows search, which works much better and it's much more efficient. Now, of course, if you're wondering whether I disable this on my PC, no, I don't. I leave it alone. I've got a modern day computer. I've got super fast NVMe drives on my PC. So I have no need to turn this off. It's not going to damage the SSD in any way, shape or form, like a lot of people claim. And it's not going to, hinder me in any way, shape or form because I have a modern day computer. If you have a really clunky old PC with a mechanical drive, you might see a benefit by turning this off because you will get reduction in disk usage, and also it will make the PC a little bit more snappier. But finding things is a lot more difficult, and you can use Everything, like I said, to find those programs. I'll put that up on the screen right now. It can search files a lot faster than Windows, and it's also more efficient and less resource hungry in my personal opinion. So if you must remove the search index on Windows, then you can use something like Everything to replace it. I've done videos on this before. It's a very good program. Now, another thing I want to point out here inside services, a lot of people go in and disable a bunch of different services in here. If they're not running, like you can see here on Xbox, they're not using up any system resources. They're not going to be zapping your system. The only ones that are going to do that are the ones that are running. And that's the thing you need to take note of. This one is running. It's called Connected User Experience and Telemetry. This is Microsoft's telemetry system service, which is going to basically collect and harvest as much information as possible. If you turn that off, that is beneficial to you. So only go through and turn off the ones that are actually running. Another one that you can turn off is Print Spooler. If you don't have a printer, that is also running, and it does take up a lot of system resources, and it also is a security risk. So make sure you turn this off if you want to claw back some system resources if you're on an older system. If you have a printer, then leave it well alone. Don't touch it. But again, you can put that to disabled as well. Now, there's loads of other ones in here. I'm not going to go through all these, but mainly the ones that you're taking note of here are the ones that are running. They're the ones that are using up system resources, not the ones that are just sitting there idle. Now, this next one we're going to take a look at is Windows Updates. Now, Windows Updates is a running service, and I've seen so many people talking about disabling it completely, and that is just really foolish. You really want to leave that on, and you just want to manage it a bit better. And you can do that. You don't have to completely disable it. Now, it's okay to pause updates, but you definitely want to check mark this one here that says notify me when restart is required to finish updating. And active hours is another area which is you want to put to manual, because you want to set these active hours to a time when you're not using your computer. So when you're gaming, it's not going to start downloading updates on your computer. Another thing it might be doing if you've got multiple computers on your network, if this is turned on right here, the delivery optimization, it may be sending files to your other computers to update those machines. And this can also cause a lot of problems when you're playing games online. So I'd definitely turn that off right there. So after you've done all of these, you want to restart your PC. You'll probably notice there isn't going to be a vast, massive difference between what we started with and what we have now. There'll be a difference in, say, memory usage a little bit and things like that, but it's not going to be massively different. And I do think that people do get caught up with the process count by quite a bit. People run Chris Titus text tool and they basically will run that and see the process count drop right down, and they will then believe that their system is going to be, 50% faster than what it was before. And it's just setting a lot of services to manual. And again, it's not really going to make much of a difference. On a modern day computer, I don't even notice 128 processes compared to 80 processes. I don't see any physical difference. But on older PCs, you might do. And this is the thing. I think a lot of these tweaks or a lot of these debloat scripts are geared up towards older systems so they can get back to some utilization, because some of the systems are running higher CPUs, a lot of utilization, and also a lot of memory usage. Now, if you really want to make a drastic difference to your system, if you're using an old computer, you might want to use something like this, which is called WinSlop. It's a pretty decent app, and it's got a bunch of tweaks inside here which you can use on your system, which will remove a lot of the AI and a lot of the telemetry and a lot of the privacy concerns that you may have with your PC. He's constantly updating this application. I did a video on this not so long ago, but he has also made more advancements with this app and made more changes on it. He's also got other types of software which he's created, and I actually forgot to mention this application inside my top 5 debloat scripts, because this is up there as well as one of the best debloaters out there. So I've extracted it onto my computer. You can see I've got a folder here. All you need to do is come down here and we need to find the WinSlop and we can run it. Now there is a bunch of other extra plugins you can use, like Chris Titus text tool and a bunch of other stuff. You can add those all in, and they should be inside your scripts area here. You'll see them all listed right here. These are some of the scripts that it can pull on to actually run on the system. So let me quickly run this and I'll show you what it actually does and what it looks like if you've not seen it before. If you have, then obviously you can skip this part, but let me just go ahead and find the WinSlop part right here, and there is a winslop.legacy version right there if you like the old school version. But we're just going to go here, right click and run this as administrator, and it's going to give you a Windows protected your PC. Your PC may be at risk. It's because it's an unknown publisher, and we already know that, so you just have to use a bit of common sense. So what we're going to do here is run this, and you can see WinSlop is now WinUI free. And you can go ahead and check mark this if you want to, so it doesn't show you this. It says I've already voted, don't show me this survey button again. I'm just going to close this off and we can continue on with our actual application. So let me quickly close this and we'll move forward. Now, if you do find some of these applications a bit complicated, this one makes things a lot easier. On this little menu up here, you've got toggle all, you've got undo last changes, you've got manage plugins, and you've got the help section right here. You've got a search feature in the middle of the box right there and a refresh button. And we also have some other options here as well down below. So this is the actual Windows version I've got, and Windows build. You can export selected or import file as well. And you can see these are the selections here. Now there's more than this here. I just need to navigate down. There's a little drop down arrow right here, and you can see you can clear logs and stuff like that if you want to do that here. So let me go ahead and just quickly show you this right here. We're going to go through and pull this little menu slider down and it will show you all of the settings inside here. So you can see there's quite a lot of them. And I'm not going to go through all of these here because I've got them check marked already, but it's quite an extensive list of tweaks and also debloaters that you can use. And again, if you wanted to add in some extensions like Chris Titus text tool, you can do and add those into the actual scan. You can enable dark mode right here for your apps and for your system. If you want to go ahead and do that, that's how you do that right there. And I'm just going to quickly drag through here and show you the rest of these so you can see. And there's quite a few to go through. And once you're happy with your selection, you can go ahead and just apply your selected changes. It's that simple. And this will disable all of the, basically all of the ads that are pushed onto your system, all your privacy concerns. There's a big long list of them. I'll quickly show you here by just pulling these open here, and you'll be able to see there's loads and loads and loads and loads of features inside here that it's going to be taking care of. So that is basically this application. I've shown this before. Let me quickly just go over the plugins one more time. You can add in the Chris Titus Tech app, the Create Restore Point, and you can do also some of the other stuff. If you want to go through that, you can do. And once you've got these check marked, then you can run the apply selected changes. Now, this application runs very, very fast, and it does a really fast job of debloating the PC. So let's start the actual app. We're going to apply these selected settings. And again, you're going to see disk cleanup popping up here. I'm just going to quickly click OK here. And then what it's going to do is it's going to run in the background, and you'll see a little prompt box here, and it's going to go ahead and run it. And that's how quick it's done that. And then it's going to pull down Chris Titus text tool right here, all from inside this app. Now, you don't really need to run multiple scripts on your PC. I've seen another load of people saying I run this and run this and run this on my PC. You don't need to do that. You only need to run one application to do a lot of the stuff. You don't need to run multiple apps and scripts on your PC to debloat Windows. Once it's been debloated once, there's not going to be much more there to debloat. So debloating it with that and then going in here and debloating it with this is not much point. So the other thing you can do is come in here and install applications, and you can configure the Windows updates to security only. And there's some other stuff on here that you can do as well if you want to use this tool to do that. And the program is super easy to use. You just check box the ones that you want to do and uncheck the ones you don't want to do. And it will remove all the built-in apps and do all the settings that you need it to do. It's still running in the background and doing a bunch of stuff here. As you can see, creating system restore points and so on. But when it's all done, it will be nice and clean and you won't have to worry. So hopefully this answers a lot of people's questions. I had people asking questions about sysmain, Superfetch files, and also talking about the Windows search and a bunch of other stuff. So hopefully I've covered all of that in this video, and that should answer a lot of your questions. This is probably going to be more beneficial to you than just disabling just one or two services, as you've seen in this video. I rarely touch services anymore. I just disable the telemetry one, and basically that is it. I will basically go into group policy, make all my settings, which I've got the files for, I'll drop them in, and then that is it. I'm pretty much done. I don't have to worry because a lot of that stuff's turned off. So I don't need to run any scripts on my system or go in manually turning off services. Anyway, that's it for this one. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk, and I shall catch you in the very next video. Bye for now.